What's up, people? This is Rob from LearnBridge.nyc, and these are the results from our most recent online bridge tournament. This was the one that was held on May 12th and May 13th. Just like every other week, Friday and Saturday are days to play the tournament, and we should get a result out to everybody on Sunday. If you want to get in on the action, just jump into the LearnBridge.nyc tournament page, and there's a sign-in form right there. If you sign up before 3 p.m. on Thursdays, you'll have an entry into the tournament. That's the one thing that some people are a little confused on. Make sure you sign up on the site, LearnBridge.nyc. That's how you get your invite via BridgeBase. If you're just logging onto BridgeBase and looking for the tournament, it won't be there if you didn't send me your email and your username. So make sure you do that first and you'll be right in on the tournament. This week's tournament was star-studded, and when we take a look at the results, we see our buddy Radu Nistor was number one with 87.05%. What a game. He's on vacation in Romania right now, so he took a little bit of time out of his schedule. He and his wife Raluca, who was fourth, they took a little bit of time out on their lovely vacation to play, and they crushed the results here. Between those two are two of the best players in the entire world, Joe Grew and John Hurd. Now, Joe was just coming off his win in the United States team trials. His team qualified to play in the World Championship and represent our country in the hopes of winning a world title. So Joe took a little step down in prestige. He went from that event right into this one, and we appreciate Joe taking the time out, and obviously he performed very well, edging out John Hurd, who finally played one of these weekly tournaments. Thank you, John Hurd. You finally got the computer out, and you just got pipped out by Joe, which I know is going to be an excellent topic of conversation until you get another shot at him. Our top amateurs were James Southern right here in fifth place, 67.74. Then we had Shelly Parker, 64.79. Betsy Sherrill, awesome, 64.5. Matt Rudari, and a lot of other amateurs well above 50%. So you guys had a great week. And those of you who are down below, don't worry. This is always our opportunity to learn from our mistakes. And that's what we're about to do now. I'm going to take a look at some of the most common mistakes that were made during the tournament, including by yours truly. So let's take a look at those hands. So my tournament started off with a terrible board. I managed to only make 3 and 3 no trump and achieve 34.5%. This should always make either 4 or 5 if we're playing it correctly. The auction is where I wanted to focus, at least initially, on this hand. Notice you opened in third seat, and we all opened a spade, and partner now bid 2 diamonds. The one thing that some of you are having issues with is potentially not understanding bids or not knowing what your bid might mean. This is the best tip I can give you in relation to that. During the auction, when partner makes a bid, we can always just mouse over their bid, and it'll tell us exactly what they mean to say. So here, this just said, I have 5 plus diamonds and probably around 10 or 11 points. Our partner didn't open, so we know they don't have 12 plus. So we're assuming partner is close to that opening bid, but just didn't make that call. Then, if we want to take a call, we can now go down to our bidding box and hover over our bid. And those of you that bid 2 hearts, we all got to 3 no trump on this hand for the most part. Some of us rebid spades, which is bad. That's going to show 6, and that might get you to the wrong contract. Here, we certainly want to show hearts, and we could do it by bidding 2 or 3. The interesting part is that we can see that when we mouse over 3 hearts, we're showing extra values, right? It says 15 to 22 total points. And the more important thing is we made a game forcing bid. Our partner, when we see their hand, we know they're always going to be bidding again, regardless of what we do next, because they have a good invitational hand. But we just want to make sure that we make a game forcing bid. When our partner showed 10 plus points, we should know we have game. So we certainly want to make sure partner does not pass below that. That's the only small difference I saw in some of the auctions. The play, and I would rather look at someone else play this hand because I did so disastrously terrible here. Why don't we look at what Radu Nistor did here? So Radu got the same lead that most of us received, a heart lead, and he won the 10 and dummy. The robots aren't always going to make a normal lead. In this case, they certainly did. And this is what we would assume at the table as well. When we see our opponent lead a 4th best card, in this case the deuce, we should know that they have an honor. Right? We're not going to lead 4th best without an honor in our hand. And As soon as we see that, we know it's the queen. So the finesse is essentially a marked finesse. So we win the 10 in the dummy. And now Radu does the most important thing here. He unblocks the club suit. Notice we have the singleton king of clubs in the dummy here. And we have 2 tricks to take in our hand. If we start playing diamonds first, we may still have time to cash the king of clubs. In fact, we most likely will. But unblocking early will at least make sure that you do this, right? If you get a little distracted during the hand, you might forget to play the king. So why not do it now and open up the ability to take these 2 tricks at some point when we're in the north hand. So that is what he did first. He unblocked the club, and then he played a low diamond to the jack. This is the same premise that we were talking about for this holding, right? Queen third opposite ace jack fifth. This is a little bit different because we do have the 9, but this is usually the way to play this card combination. You play low to the jack, except we have some entry problems, right? So we took our finesse and it won. And now if we play the ace of diamonds like we usually would to try to drop the king, we're going to block ourselves away from our hand. Right? Does everybody see that? And take a moment and pause it if you don't see it right away. As soon as we play the ace of diamonds, even if the king falls, we're going to be stuck on this side of the table. And we can't let that happen. So here is where Radu played a low diamond. And we just surrendered our trick to the king. So now we give up our trick early, and we still have this ace of diamonds as the entry to our hand, and because of the even split in the diamond suit, we're going to get to take those 2 small diamonds as well. So after this is accomplished, we can essentially just start taking the rest of our tricks. We're going to play our diamonds, pitching our spades. We're not going to pitch a heart at all because, once again, we know that finesse is working, especially since we already saw the finesse win once. Now, if you were playing in an imp game, this might be the time where you would play the ace king of hearts, but to be honest, even in that format, we can be almost guaranteed to win this finesse unless something really weird has happened. So if we played it this way, we took 11 tricks, and we played it 2 tricks better than I did. So congratulations to Radu. I think Joe Grew also made 5. Others were making 4. If we were in 3-no trump making anything, you did okay. The best scores came from obviously making 1 or 2 over tricks. A couple of people made 6, which, congratulations, that's great. Board number 2 saw a lot of different results, and the main difference was what we decided to do over 2 spades, obviously. The correct bid is 3 hearts. 3 hearts says you have an opening hand or better because we're bidding over a preemptive opening bid. And it says you have at least 5 of your suit. So it's just like a normal overcall, except their points requirements are a little bit higher because we're bidding at a higher level always after a preempt. So that's the exact thing we want to show, right? We have 5 hearts. We may be able to bid clubs later if there's some sort of forward-going auction, but in reality, we just want to show our hand as quickly and as efficiently as we possibly can. The opponents have already chewed up 2 levels of bidding. It's time to get our information out there. Those of you that doubled misrepresented the shape of your hand. Right? When you have a 5-card major especially, it's usually not going to be right to double. There are certain situations where you do double first, but here is not one of those. Right? We just have a basic opening hand, and we just want to show it the best way we possibly can. If you had 4 hearts, 3 diamonds, and 4 clubs, now your double makes more sense because at least you have all 3 suits covered, and you're not concealing a 5-card major. Okay, so those of you that doubled made a slightly better bid probably than those of you that passed. Those of you that passed are just allowing the opponents to preempt you out of this auction. And that is a bad situation, right? If they know they can preempt you out of auctions with hands like this, they're going to continually preempt against you, and you're not going to be coming out on top in most of those situations if we don't bid with this hand. Right? So make sure when you have a good hand especially and you have a clear bid to make, you make it. Right? Because it's important that we don't allow them to preempt us out of our auctions. If you bid 3 hearts, the auction ended and you got to play 3 hearts, and you can see from my side here, 3 hearts making 3 was worth 63%, and that is because at other tables we saw a lot of people getting way too high. And if we click on any of these auctions, we can see that we started with a double, including all the way up to 4 hearts down 2. We started with a double, and when we double, guys, and then we make another bid, right, we are absolutely showing a very strong hand. And this is an example we can see here. When we double and our partner bids 2 no trump, which is a conventional bid for the robot. And we bid 3 hearts. We're showing twice rebiddable hearts, usually meaning a 6-card suit, and 19 or more points. This is not what we want to communicate. That's why we just bid 3 hearts directly over 2 spades. So on this board, if you were in 3 hearts and only 3 hearts, making either 3 or 4, you're going to get a very good result. So I have to call out Shelly Parker, who did great in the event. You did play 3-no trump, and you made 3. And you were in a contract that couldn't go down, thankfully. However, a little too high, right? If you look at this hand, you have 14 points opposite 8. This is a game you probably shouldn't be in, especially in match points, but you got paid off in a big way because you could not go down in this contract. So plus 600, worth 100% for Shelly. Good job. So board 3 saw a good forcing no trump auction. We should have started with 1 spade in the south. Our partner bids 1 no trump, and right-hand opponent overcalls 2 clubs. In this spot, in a forcing no trump situation, if you had just a balanced minimum, you could absolutely pass 2 clubs, and you should if you have nothing legitimate to say to your partner. Clearly have a legitimate bid to make, and it should be 2 hearts. Some of you bid 2 diamonds here, guys. It's way more important to show your 4-card major here, because that's where we want to try to find our fits first. We can always come back and show our shape by bidding diamonds later, but we want to bid 2 hearts first. So now partner knows we started with 5 spades and 4 hearts. And you'll get to play 2 hearts on this hand. So we should end in 2 hearts on this hand. And we're going to see the results here. Some people made 4, some people made 3, some people made 2, and some people went down. Those of you that were down on this spectrum here, we bid too much. Those of you that rebid diamonds are going to hear partner take a preference for the spade suit. When you hear that, guys, that does not show a fit in spades. So for example, on this auction here, after we bid 2 diamonds, which again, we want to bid hearts, not diamonds, partner bids 2 spades. Here, we can't even know we have a fit. In fact, almost always, we do not have a fit here. Partner either has 2 spades or less, or 3 spades and the worst raise ever. Okay, so it's not going to be good for you. So you don't want to continue in any of these auctions. So I want to take a look at how Joe Grew played this hand, because we had some discrepancies on how many people were making. Some people were going down in 2 hearts, some making only 2, 3, and Joe here made 4 hearts. So let's take a look at how Joe played it. He got the same lead that most of us got, which was the king of diamonds, and we win the ace in our hand. There's no reason to play low in most of these situations, especially considering when they lead the king, we should be very confident that they have the queen. So now, by taking this ace right now, later on, we just get to lead a low diamond towards the jack and hopefully establish a diamond trick there. So we're always going to take the ace, and here Joe just drew 2 rounds of trump. Played the king and queen of hearts from his hand, and now we have to start thinking about developing the spade suit, right? We don't want to draw all the trump because now we only get to ruff 1 spade potentially, and the 10 of hearts is good in our hand. So if we need to, that ace of hearts can be used to trump a card, and the 10 will still be able to be used to draw trump. So now Joe played the queen of spades and he saw the ace, and they returned a diamond, which we saw was going to happen. They were always going to get that queen of diamonds. And now they switch to a club, which Joe ruffed. Now is the time that we have to try to start developing spades. So we play the king of spades, and we see the jack to our right. So we know the 9 is good, but we should be recognizing that, okay, the left-hand opponent probably just has the 8 and another card left. So now Joe ruffs with the ace of hearts. And here's an interesting spot. He could play a heart back to his hand, drawing the last trump, cashing these 2 spades, and he'll have a good diamond at the end, which will net him making 4. However, if diamonds are 3-3 somehow, and he plays this jack of diamonds and they split, now he gets to take all the rest of the tricks. Because if he draws trump now and comes to his hand with the 10 of hearts, he's actually going to only take this 1 diamond trick here at the end, because he has to lock himself in that dummy. So he did the smart thing by playing the jack of diamonds, and they ruffed with their last trump, which gets him to the exact same spot he would have been in had he drawn trump. He will make 4 now, because when they lead a club, he roughs it. He gets to play 2 spades, pitching clubs, and then he roughs that last diamond and dummy for making 4. Now we see why Joe plays in the World Championships so often. So Board 4 was a defensive hand, finally. These tournaments are set up so that South, the seat that you're in, will always have the best hand at the table, which usually means, you're going to be playing way more hands than you would at the club, right, when the hands are random. But sometimes we get to play defense, and it really matters how we do. Almost everyone in the field was defending 4 hearts. Some of you only defended 2 hearts, and it's because you forgot to rebid your spade suit. When the auction comes back to you after you've overcalled a spade and they bid 2 hearts, it's perfectly reasonable just to rebid your spades. You have a very powerful hand. You have a good 6-card suit. Don't be afraid to get in there. You might even buy some of these auctions. If you bid 2 spades, they jumped to 4 hearts. If you did not rebid 2 spades, they passed it out and they played 2 hearts, which gave you no opportunity to get a plus score. When we're defending this hand, the only thing you need to know is never lead clubs. You're looking at the ace queen in your hand. Those of you that beat 4 hearts stayed true to that. You did not lead clubs. Those of you that let them make 4 hearts led clubs yourself. Right? Look at those 2 cards. I want you to burn these 2 cards in your memory. It is almost never right to lead this suit at all, especially considering how short you are in this suit. It might be right sometimes to lead spades, but only because of the length that you have. You would be doing so in an effort to potentially get partner a ruff, or just to take a trick that you think might be your only trick. But never from this short holding. You want the opponents to lead this suit. So on this auction, I led a diamond, and it looked safer than anything else. I could have led a trump as well, but I just led a diamond, and I'm just going to let my opponents come to me. They led a low spade, and I jumped up with the ace. The reason we do this, guys, is we want to take our trick now, especially when the declare leads low towards the king initially. Before they even start drawing trump, it usually is an alarm bell saying, okay, maybe they're trying to score a trick with their singleton. So we're going to take the ace now, and we are going to fail to lead clubs again. Remember, we're waiting. We want the declare to lead this suit. So we lead another harmless diamond. And now declare did something weird at every table. At my table, they played a low heart to the ace. Okay, this is weird. They should take their finesse. At other tables, they actually took the finesse once and then played the ace. So they allowed our side to score a trick that we were never entitled to. Now, obviously, this is not a legitimate way to beat 4 hearts, but if we're playing this in the right way, this is how the robot chose to play it. So it's very weird that they surrendered a heart trick on this hand. If you defended 4 hearts and they made it, it's quite possible that they just played it slightly differently. And I know one player in particular, and let's see if I can find him here. This is David Gerbich. He had essentially the same defense except for one small detail. He led the 8 of diamonds and not the 7. And this, for some reason, in the robot's mind, gave them the right information to play this contract perfectly. And they did. They took 2 hard finesses against David and won the ace of hearts. And now you can't beat it. So this is just an odd circumstance where a little bit of luck helped some players get a better score because of the differing way the robot decided to play this. And it was very odd that the 8 of diamonds would cause this, but that's the only thing we can think of that would have been different at any of these tables. So if you did beat 4 hearts, or at least you held it to 4 if they take both finesses, it meant you did not lead clubs ever. If you ever led clubs, you were giving them a trick that they could never have. And notice the patience pays off. At some point they have to lead a club. And now you get your 2 club tricks. And you beat it 1 trick for a plus score, which was worth 71.4% on this hand. I would not expect any of us to beat this contract in a live game unless the declarer made a similar mistake as the robot did. Board 5 was another terrible result for me. I let them make 3 hearts somehow, which was just awful. But let me show you how some of the other players played it. And this is Johnny Hurd's first go-around in the tournament. Not too bad, getting above 70%, which we would expect from a player of his caliber. And this is how he defended this hand. Pretty much the same way as the rest of us did. He led a low spade, and we're leading a low spade here to try to get a ruff. Right? We certainly want to try to get more than 1 ruff if possible. But partner doesn't cooperate. When partner does not lead a spade back to us, we're never going to get more than 1 ruff. And we already can see that we have an established trump trick, right? That queen of hearts or the jack of hearts, whichever one we're going to win with, will eventually develop into a trick. So because partner didn't give us a ruff at this moment, we have no future in getting more than one of them. So we just decide to take our tricks. And at this moment, John led the ace of clubs and then followed with the jack, scoring their 2 club tricks. And now you just have to sit back and wait for your heart trick. If partner does lead a spade now, you would definitely ruff it, and there's your heart trick. But we should know at this point, even if partner gives us a ruff with spades, that we're not going to be able to find a way back to their hand. They've essentially played all the cards they're supposed to have. So on this hand, we should have been in 3 hearts, down 1. As you can see, I let them make it, which was good for 39%. If you just play good defense, like I didn't, you get 79.8%. So not surprisingly, all the top pros defended it well, and most of the amateurs did too. The rest of you and me, not so good. Board 6 saw North-South playing 4 spades, and the auction should have been the same or similar at every table. We should open 1 diamond with the South hand. West jumps to 2 hearts, which is just a preemptive overcall, and partner doubles, showing 4 spades, right? This is the negative double. So after East bids 3 hearts, we can bid 3 spades. It's even close to bidding 4 spades, which some of our pros did. When we bid 3 spades, partner will raise to 4. And now the difference is, do you make 4, 5, or do you go down? Let's look at how Joe played this hand, which was perfectly. The opponents led a heart, same at every table, and now they switch to the queen of spades. When the robot does this, when they switch to an honor and the trump suit, it is so frequently a singleton. Right? It's almost a lock to be a singleton. So Joe wins with the ace and dummy so that he can lead a low spade towards his hand. And what he's planning on doing here is if they play low, the 5, he's going to play low. Right? He's going to try to take an extra trick in this suit and make sure the opponents can only take 1 spade trick. But as it turns out, when he plays the 7, they cover with the 9 and he wins the king. And at this moment, he could ruff a heart, but there's no reason to. All he needs to do is play another spade to the 10. If this held, if East did not take their jack of spades, now he would abandon drawing trump completely. In fact, he would just play a club to the king, diamond to the king, and pitch a heart on that club, and now just run diamonds, right? But they played the jack of spades, so they're not in any danger of losing a heart, because a heart return would still be able to be ruffed and dummy. And now they led a spade back to his 8. So now he gets to claim the rest of the tricks. He cashes the king of clubs to unblock. Then he plays his diamonds, cashing the ace of clubs while he's over there. Let's see him do that right now. Bingo, unblock, bingo, pitching the heart. The hand is over. So 4 spades making 5 is the best result you can get on this particular board. Those of you that made 4, myself included, unfortunately, or went down, you need to take a look at how we play this particular hand. Because it's very normal when we have a hand exactly like this. When we have a long side suit and we're in a different trump suit. So in this case, we have a very long side diamond suit and we have an 8-card spade fit. In almost all of these situations, even when you're getting a bad break, as we saw, we want to draw trump first and then run our side suit. Right? There shouldn't be too many reasons to do anything else when you have a nice long source of tricks like that. So if we follow that recipe in situations like this, we'll take the maximum number of tricks as often as possible. So I thought I got a great score on this hand. I was in 4 spades doubled, which was honestly a very normal result on this auction. However, my buddy Johnny Hurd did me one better. He redoubled when it got back to him. So the auction went as follows. This is my table here. So I opened 1 spade and West bid 2 spades, which is the Michaels Q bid. If you didn't know that, you should see that their bid is highlighted in red, and that says Michaels, which should show 5 hearts and 5 of an unspecified minor suit. And you can see West clearly has that bid nailed down. They have 5 hearts and 5 diamonds. East's 2-no trump bid said, I do not have a fit in hearts. Show me your second suit. I chose to pass at this point for 2 reasons. I wanted to see what their minor suit was, and I also was fishing for a double. I kind of want to get doubled with hands like this, especially considering West just showed 2 suits. So I hear the 3 diamond bid and it goes past 3 spades, which was just a forcing bid. So I chose to bid 4 spades now. And I really was hoping that they would make this double, and they did. If we look at John Hurd's auction, it started the same way, except over 2 no trump, he doubled, which should just show, obviously extra values and the same sort of shape he showed originally. And then it went 3 diamonds, 3 spades, and we doubled again, showing more spades and more points, as we can see by mousing right over the bid. And then it went past 4 hearts, and we double again. This is not a penalty double, actually. And especially when we mouse over it, we can see that the robot knows that this is a takeout double. And they bid 4 spades, which confirms that we probably are looking at a spade fit, we hope. And then it goes double, and he rewraps that right back to them. And you can see we're always going to make 4 on this particular hand. And there's nothing they can really do about it if we play it correctly. So we are going to be in 4 spades, doubled making 4, or if you were smart enough to redouble, and that was John and Judith West. Nice job. We redoubled also in your seat, and you took the required number of tricks to get 98.8%. And Judith, thank you so much for doing that, so that John cannot say that he's the only one that did it. So you tied a very great player on this particular hand. Those of you that let them play 4 hearts, we probably just didn't bid enough with our cards, right? This is a very strong hand, and the idea that you might beat 4 hearts is great, but if you're missing a game, especially a vulnerable game, then we're really not doing the best with the cards that we have. And those of you that went down 1 in spades, take a look at the play differences between the 4 spades making 4 and the 4 spades down. So now let's take a look at the final board, board 8. The auction should have been relatively straightforward. We're looking at how Radu bid and played this hand. Partner opens 1 diamond. When you are looking at that south hand, this is the moment that you know you have to play game. So when partner opens the bidding, you just want to make sure at every turn that you're either bidding a game or making some sort of forcing bid. So on this auction, when partner opens a diamond, we make a forcing bid, which is 1 spade. And that just says we have 4 spades and 6 to infinity number of points. Partner now rebids 1 no trump, which shows 12 to 14 balance. And at this moment, we know we don't have a spade fit. We don't have any other fits that we should want to discuss, considering no trump's an option. So we just bid 3 no trump. And this is how Radu played the hand. We all probably got the same lead, which was the 2 of clubs. And Radu chose correctly to play the 7 of clubs, which produced the jack from west. Now they return to heart, which is essentially the same thing they did at every table. And for some weird reason, the robot played the 10 of hearts. I know that they're thinking that they're unblocking in this situation for partners cards, but we're about to see how that decision is going to come back to haunt the East-West players. So the 10 of hearts gets put underneath the king. And now Radu plays his suit that has the best chance for extra tricks, which is diamonds. In fact, we may take all 4 diamond tricks if we win the finesse and we have a favorable distribution of the suit. But we're a huge favorite to take at least 3 tricks. So he correctly takes the diamond finesse, which loses. And now comes a promotion of a trick. The East player now leads a heart, which forces West to play one of their honors. And now Radu was paying attention. He saw the 10 of hearts fall originally, and now the jack has fallen underneath his ace. So at this moment, he can just lead the 9 of hearts and create a heart trick, which gave him 1 extra trick than the rest of the field. So now he wins his heart. He runs his diamonds. Now at the end, when he finally plays spades, he gets a nice piece of information. When he plays the ace and then the 10 of spades, he sees the queen, and he knows he has the rest of the tricks. So Radu made 10 tricks, which was more than the rest of the field, except for 1 person. And once again, thank you, Max. Max is Radu's long-term partner, and he actually kept Radu from getting 100%. So congratulations to the Romanian pair. They bettered the field on this particular board in the tournament. So thanks a lot, everybody, for watching and participating in this tournament. Congratulations to the victors, both pros and amateurs alike. This is a terrific opportunity, if you haven't done it yet, to go back in and look at the results from the tournament and look at what other people did, especially some of the top players. You know what they're doing is probably considered the right thing to do almost always. So you can learn a lot from how they handle the situations that you might have found yourself in as well. We're going to do one more free tournament this weekend, which will be this Friday the 19th and Saturday the 20th. We're going to take a 1-week hiatus after that. There's a regional tournament here in New York City, and if you want more information on that, you can go right to the front page of LearnBridge.nyc, and there's a link if you're interested in checking out the regional tournament in the city. After Memorial Day, we'll start this back up again. There will probably be a small charge for the tournament after that time, but hopefully it won't be too much and you guys continue to participate. I hope you're enjoying the content. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, or you just want to suggest something for the future, please let me know. You can send me an email at thebridgeteacher@gmail.com, or you can just post a comment on the contact page of the website. So thank you all very much, and I will see you this next weekend, the 19th and 20th, for another online bridge tournament. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.